So what has changed? I mean, as we're now in 2025, from when you started, like what has changed? Because we've seen obviously a lot of changes in marketing. We've seen the advent of AI. I mean, you talked about SEO. You now have to look at how do I optimize for AI, where people are using those as as alternatives to search engines. So what's changed in how you go about things?
I think what's changed on the well, first I will speak to AI. That's definitely changed SEO over the past 12 months. Local SEO has become extremely important. So we're still really focusing on that. But human stories in the SEO front of things are always going to win out, right? If you have a blog on your website about the time that you overcame this illness and started your $10 million company, there's nothing that AI is going to be able to replace, and people will still want to connect with you on that front. So you have to kind of get a little creative. On the AI front, I think in 2025, you're going to see a lot more focus on user intent, authority. What factors more into SEO now is, are you interesting? Are you on social media? Are you famous? Do you have authoritative backlinks to your site? That part is not changing. And when we speak about SEO, it's really about connecting me to you. How do I find my business that I'm looking for? So that part is kind of changing, and it's an influx, and I don't want to kind of say exactly how it's going to turn out. In terms of other thing, some things haven't changed. Radio is still huge. I do a lot of radio advertising. I think the CPM on radio is one of the best. I think still radio is a great way to get a brand out. It does take about 6 months to really get in with people's top of mind awareness. Out of home advertising is great as long as you're smart about how strategic you buy your billboards. You don't buy them for ego when you're the realtor that wants your neighbors to just see you. You buy them because they're near a certain area, or if you're a personal injury lawyer, you buy them because they're near a hospital, creating that brand association. But I think what's always going to win out, and what we really work towards, is creativity. How do I find a way to drive traffic to your site? I mean, I'm a singer-songwriter on the side. I started in June, and I'm driving right now about 25,000 hits a month to my Spotify using a website that is massive and no one talks about. And I'll keep that to myself in my, for now. But I taught my friend how to drive about 20,000 hits a month to his Spotify store from this website. So creativity and hiring a company to sort of, go around and come up with something that other people can is always going to win out for sure.
Yeah, because it seems to me like a lot of people think, okay, AI gives us all these shortcuts and all of this, and people are always looking for shortcuts. But it seems to me, but what you're saying is that actually, if you put the work in and you're creative, and you can have outsized results that way, that there isn't really those kind of instant shortcuts that people are always kind of looking. It's like people always say, like, there's no silver bullets, but they believe every so-called silver bullet that comes along.
Yes, and they also sort of, a lot of people come to me, I work with a very specific client. I don't start in the infancy stages. I have a client that's, I'm doing well, but I want to dominate my market. And I've been in business for, at least 3-4 years. But a lot of people overvalue themselves. They think they're more interesting than they are. They think their business is more interesting than they are. And it sounds very harsh, but it's, if I go to your website and I load it and I don't understand what your unique value proposition is, if your fonts, if your colors don't evoke anything in me, I don't really care. And so a lot of people think, I'm Jeff Smith and I have this business and you should come work with me. And there's 25 other Jeff Smiths within the city. And they haven't put that thought into it. And you can't market something until you really understand, how do I make people feel?